This is the High Voltage Business Builders Podcast, daily intelligence for serious e-commerce portfolio builders across Amazon, TikTok Shop, Shopify, Walmart, and every channel that moves the needle. Neil Twa and his Voltage team all day, every day since 2012. Let's get into it.
Chinese sellers just claimed 1,342 spots in Amazon's top 10,000 that American brands used to own. So why are most US operators still running the same playbook they used in 2020? It's Friday, July 10th. Welcome back, folks. On behalf of myself and the entire Voltage team, we are glad you hit play on episode 319 of the High Voltage Business Builders podcast. Now, this one got under my skin. I was reading a Marketplace Pulse article early this morning, coffee in hand, before anybody else on the homestead was awake, and I could not put it down because the top of the Amazon Marketplace did not shift overnight. It shifted while operators were busy optimizing the wrong things. And I am not watching this from the cheap seats. We run 30 brands of our own, so I see this exact pressure in my own dashboards every single week. Today I'm giving you my take on what the numbers actually show, what it means for your brand, and the 3 moves that actually matter right now. Look, when I see a stat like this, my first instinct is not to panic. My second instinct is to figure out what it actually means for the operator sitting on $20,000 to $80,000 a month in revenue, trying to hold position. So here is what that Marketplace Pulse piece actually says. Chinese sellers picked up 1,342 spots in the top 10,000 on Amazon.com since July 2020. US sellers lost 1,320 spots in that same window. Chinese sellers now represent 55.9% of the top 10,000, up from 42.5% 4 years ago. US sellers went from 53.7% down to 40.5%. That sounds bad, and for certain sellers, it is. But here's the part most people skip right past, and it's the part I kept rereading over my coffee. US sellers still hold 65.3% of the gross merchandise value generated by the top 10,000. And in the top 100, American sellers account for 81.4% of those spots and produce 93.2% of the revenue. The average selling price for a US seller in the top 100 is $47.62. For Chinese sellers in that same tier, it's $22.03. Read that again. American brands are selling at more than double the price and still winning at the very top. So what is actually happening here? Chinese sellers are winning volume at low price points, factory direct, export subsidies, manufacturing proximity. They can run $22 average selling prices because they are the factory. You are not, and you should not try to be. The mistake I see operators make is competing on that axis, dropping price to match, running thinner and thinner margins, trying to hold rank. Yeah, because cutting price for the 5th month in a row always fixes margin. This is not a race to the bottom you can win. The operators who are holding position at the top are not cheaper. They are better positioned, higher price point, stronger brand identity, deeper customer relationship. That is the lane US operators can actually own. The marketplace has shifted. Sponsored placements now dominate visibility more than organic history did 4 years ago. That changes the game for everyone, at every level. If you are at $10,000 a month or $500,000 a month, the underlying principle is the same. Compete where factory direct sellers cannot follow you. I want to tell you about a conversation I had with an operator running a home goods brand, mid-range, doing around $45,000 a month when we first connected. Smart guy. Had been on Amazon since 2018. He came to me frustrated, said his organic rank was slipping, said he kept seeing Chinese sellers show up right below him with nearly identical products at 30% lower prices. He had already dropped his price twice trying to hold conversion rate. His margins were bleeding. I asked him one question. What is your average selling price and what is your net per unit? He said $24.99 and about $3.40 net. I told him straight, you are fighting the wrong war. At $3.40 net, you have no room to advertise, no room to build, no room to absorb a bad inventory cycle. You have already lost the price war. The factory beat you before you even showed up. We looked at his product line. He had 2 SKUs that had real differentiation, real brand story, real customer reviews that talked about quality, not just price. Those 2 SKUs averaged $41. His net on those was closer to $9. So that is where we focused. We rebuilt his Amazon ad strategy around those 2 SKUs, stopped spending on the commodity items, tightened up his listing copy to lead with the quality story, not the feature list, repositioned his brand to attract a buyer who was not shopping on price. 6 months later, he was at $67,000 a month. Fewer SKUs, better margin, less chaos. He was not trying to out-factory a factory. He was building a brand that a factory cannot replicate. That is the only game worth playing right now. And honestly, this is exactly what my book, Almost Automated Income, is built around. You are not here to win a volume war on thin margins. You are here to build an income-producing asset. Those are very different businesses.
While saving 17 hours a week doing it, that's exactly what we built Voltage Business Builders for. It combines the power of experience and being in the right room with the power of AI to compress time and increase your business profits. More than AI for the sake of using AI. It's a room full of senior sellers with over 15 years in e-com, showing you the ropes of AI, business building, and creating generational wealth through business. Visit voltagedm.com to see what's inside the Voltage Business Builders room.
3 moves, right now, for sellers at every level. Move 1. Audit your price point, not your rank. If your average selling price is under $25 and your net per unit is under $8, you are in the danger zone. That is the price range where factory direct sellers can absorb losses longer than you can. I use a $12 net profit per unit minimum as a hard floor. If a SKU cannot hit that, it does not get ad spend. It either gets repositioned or it gets cut. I know, nobody wants to hear that. But margin discipline is what separates a real business from an expensive hobby. Move 2. Strengthen what a factory cannot copy. Your brand story, your packaging, your customer experience, your review content that talks about why someone chose you over the cheaper option. Chinese sellers in the top 10,000 average $22 selling prices. The US sellers running $47 average selling prices at the top 100 are not lucky. They built something that commands a premium. That work starts at the listing level and runs all the way through your product development. This one is boring. It is also where the money is. Move 3. Shift your Amazon ad spend toward your highest margin SKUs, not your highest revenue SKUs. This is the one that surprises people. Revenue without margin is not growth. I have seen operators running $200,000 a month in revenue with less take-home than someone doing $60,000 with discipline. Your ad budget should be protecting and growing the SKUs that actually make you money. If you do not know which SKUs those are off the top of your head right now, that is the first problem to solve. Today, not next quarter. These moves work whether you are at $5,000 a month or $500,000 a month. The scale changes. The principle does not. If any of this hit close to home, here is the honest truth. Watching Chinese sellers take 1,342 spots in the top 10,000 is not just a headline. It is a data signal about where margin pressure is coming from. And most operators are trying to react to it without a clear view of their own numbers. Most sellers are drowning in tabs, ads, listings, inventory, pricing, reviews. AI looks like the easy fix. But bad data in means bad calls out. You do not save time. You make expensive mistakes faster. That is not freedom. That is chaos with nobody steering. Here is what works. Caiman Data pulls your live Amazon numbers into one clear picture. Ads, listings, sales, inventory. You see what is working and what is costing you money. Not another spreadsheet that eats your week. You stay in charge. You see the reason before you say yes. Nothing runs without your approval. That matters, especially right now, when the marketplace is shifting fast and the wrong move on pricing or ad spend can cost you months of progress. That level of review used to eat hours every week. Caiman Data cuts that down with one live connection to your account. That is how Voltage helps sellers save time, protect margin, and grow without losing control. We have been doing this for over 13 years. We know what a real business looks like at every stage, and we know how fast things move when you finally have clear numbers driving your decisions. Head over to voltagedm.com to learn more about Caiman Data and everything Voltage offers operators at every level. Thanks for spending part of your Friday with us on the High Voltage Business Builders podcast. We will see you back here tomorrow. Until then, stay high voltage.